Welcome to this Functional Skills Level 2 English training video. This video contains information and guidance on Criterion 21. Use correct grammar. For example, subject-verb agreement, consistent use of a range of tenses, definite and indefinite articles, and modality devices. For example, to express probability or desirability. At Level 2, and by the end of this session, you should be able to understand singular and plural words, identify common nouns, proper nouns and pronouns, identify first, second and third person perspectives in writing, understand and use different tenses, understand and use the correct subject-verb agreements, understand and use definite and indefinite articles, and understand and use modality devices. We will also apply our knowledge of correct grammar in a writing task. Grammar is a set of rules that dictate how a language works. It ensures we use correct sentence structure, spelling, and punctuation. Without proper grammar, we would have no idea how to write or speak English. Using correct grammar means knowing and following the rules of English. It exists to make communication easier. If we all follow the same rules, we can reduce confusion and misunderstanding. Using correct grammar doesn't eliminate every element of poor communication, but it decreases the chances of it happening. When poor grammar leads to mistakes, it wastes time, as explanations have to be given about what the writer meant. Writing that uses good grammar is understood by non-native English speakers, as well as native speakers. It makes connecting with others easier and helps to create a positive first impression. Good grammar is a valued skill. When well-written communication is received, the writer's words are viewed as being worthy of serious attention. Let's start with singular and plural. This is a really important foundation for ensuring you use the correct grammar consistently in your writing. Singular means one. If a word is singular, it is referring to one noun. Plural means more than one. If a word is plural, it is referring to multiple nouns. Here are some examples. The word cat is singular. There is one cat. The word cats is plural. There is more than one cat. The word person is singular. There is one person. The word people is plural. There is more than one person. Let's recap nouns and pronouns. Although you won't need to explain these terms in your exam, you do need to understand them so they can be used correctly. A noun is the name of something. This could be a person, a place, an object, or something abstract that you cannot see or touch, like an emotion. Let's look at this example. My dog's name is William. I adore my dog because he is a good boy. The word dog seen here in red is a common noun. Most nouns are common nouns. These are the names of everyday things, such as cat, pencil, or anger. The word William, which is highlighted green, is a proper noun. Proper nouns are the specific name given to a noun, for example, the name of a person, such as Adam, the name of a company, like Highfield, or a place, such as Brighton or London. Finally, the word he is a pronoun. Pronouns are words that can be used instead of nouns. We use them to identify who or what we are talking about. In this example, he is the dog. Let's move on to using pronouns when writing in different perspectives. When we write about ourselves, our opinions, and the things that happen to us, we normally use first-person perspective. When speaking about ourselves, we always use I. Other first-person pronouns include me, my, and mine. If a first-person plural pronoun is needed to show more than one person is present, we use we, our, and ours. Pause the video to read the example, then press play when you're ready to move on. We usually use a second-person perspective if we are directly addressing the reader. For example, when writing a letter or a set of instructions. Second-person pronouns include you, your, and yours. These are used regardless of whether there is one person or multiple people being addressed. Pause the video to read the example, then press play when you're ready to move on. When we use the third-person perspective, we are writing about other people. Third-person singular refers to one person or thing, such as man, or the doctor. Third-person singular pronouns include he or she, himself or herself, and it. Third-person plural usually refers to more than one person or thing, such as men and doctors. Third-person pronouns include they and them. Pause the video to read the example, then press play when you're ready to move on. Can you identify whether each sentence is written using first, second, or third-person perspective? Pause the video while you answer the question, then press play when you're ready to continue. Let's check our answers. The proposed site is on the outskirts of Highfield town and is surrounded by open fields. It is 3 miles from the town centre, where Ellis works. This example uses a third-person perspective. The text refers to the nouns directly. You can wait here and make yourself at home. This example uses a second-person perspective. The text is directly addressing the reader using the word you. We need to recruit new staff in an efficient and timely manner. I want to plan the recruitment process now, so that we are ready to act promptly. This example uses first-person perspective as the writer is speaking about themselves using the pronoun I, and the plural pronoun we. If you want to further your learning, pause the video and practice writing a couple of sentences using each perspective. Press play when you're ready to continue. Let's move on to subject-verb agreement. Simply put, subject-verb agreement means making sure that your sentence makes sense. The subject or main noun in your sentence must match the verb being used. If a subject is singular, then the verb must also be singular. If the subject is plural, then the verb must also be plural. Let's remind ourselves what verbs are. A verb is a doing or action word. Verbs describe actions, states, or occurrences. For example, jump, write, like, became, worried, or analyze. Can you identify the verb in each of the sentences below? Pause the video, then press play to continue. The council approved of the building plans. The verb in this sentence is approved. Many customers like the new menu. The verb in this sentence is like. After the weekend, the author will resume writing. The verb in this sentence is resume. Every sentence must have a verb for it to be grammatically correct. Verbs change depending on the tense a text is written in. Tense is a form of a verb that allows you to express time. Simply put, tense changes verbs to show whether an action happened in the past, present, or future. Let's take a look at the examples. Open days were arranged for the shortlisted candidates. This sentence is written in the past tense. It has already happened. Open days are being arranged for the shortlisted candidates. This sentence is written in the present tense. It is something that is happening now. Open days will be arranged for the shortlisted candidates. This sentence is written in the future tense. It has not yet happened, but will happen once the candidates are shortlisted. Can you identify whether each sentence is written in the past, present, or future tense? Pause the video, then press play when you're ready to continue. Let's check your answers. All new employees are undergoing a formal induction. This first sentence is written in the present tense. The employees are being inducted now. The induction will include a tour of the site as well as health and safety training. The second sentence is written using the future tense. The tour has not yet happened. The new employees gave 4 weeks' notice to their previous employer. This final sentence is written in the past tense. The employees have already given their notice, so this action has already happened. Let's put this knowledge together. The table shows present tense subject-verb agreement. Here, we can see the different subjects being used, including I, he, and she. The verb to walk is included within this table. Let's look at a few example sentences to see how the verb changes depending on the subject. I walk to work every Thursday morning. She walks to work every Thursday morning. Jay walks to work every Thursday morning. Notice how the verb changes from walk to walks when the subject is third person, such as she and Jay. We can use the word will to show future tense. For example, we will walk, or they will walk. This does not change, regardless of whether the noun or pronoun is singular or plural. We often need to change the verb or its suffix if we change tense. For example, in this past tense subject-verb agreement table, we can see that the verb to walk has been changed to walked by adding the ed suffix. This is to show that the action is past tense. We can also see that to bake has changed to baked by adding a d. If a verb already ends in an e, then we just add a d. Sometimes, when a verb is changed to its past tense form, the word itself will change. These are known as irregular verbs. For example, the verb to do changes when it is used in different tenses. I am doing the washing. The verb doing is used in the present tense. I will do the washing. The verb do is used in the future tense. I did the washing. The verb did is used in the past tense. The word did is an irregular verb. Here are some sentences. Can you change these sentences to the past tense? Pause the video, then press play when you're ready to check your answers. Let's change each sentence to the past tense. They can see beautiful scenery from their balcony. The verb see becomes saw. They saw beautiful scenery from their balcony. Many people think the favorite horse will win the race. The verb think becomes thought, and will becomes would. Without changing will to would, the sentence would not make sense. Many people thought the favorite horse would win the race. 70% of people take care of their elderly relatives. The verb take becomes took. 70% of people took care of their elderly relatives. One of the most common misconceptions people have is using the words is and are correctly. Let's take a look. These are used in the present tense. Is used for singular nouns or when we are talking about one thing. Are is used for plural nouns or when we are talking about more than one thing. For example, there is a concern that people are becoming more obese. In this sentence, there is one concern. Therefore, we use is. There are concerns that people are becoming more obese. In this sentence, there is more than one or multiple concerns. Therefore, are is used. Here are some sentences that need is or are adding. Pause the video, then press play when you're ready to continue. Let's review. Fred is joining the fitness class to improve his strength and self-esteem. The word is must be used, as there is only one Fred. There are many dance classes available at our gym, and our customers are always requesting more. The word are is used because there is more than one dance class, making the sentence plural. Also, there are multiple customers, meaning are should be used in the second part of the sentence. Exercise is good for improving both mental and physical health. The word is used here because exercise is a singular word or general term. Reading sentences aloud can greatly help with identifying which words should be used when writing in the present tense. Let's look at was and were. These are used in the past tense. Was is used for singular nouns or when we are talking about one thing. Were is used for plural nouns or when we are talking about more than one thing. For example, the club was open every weekday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. In this sentence, there is one club. Therefore, we use was. The clubs were open every weekday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. In this sentence, there are multiple clubs. Therefore, we use were. Here are some sentences. Add was or were to make them correct. Remember to think about whether they are referring to singular or plural nouns. Pause the video, then press play when you're ready to continue. Let's review our answers. Mr. Smith was an elderly gentleman who lived alone in Highfield. We use the word was, as there is only one Mr. Smith. People were always keen to check on Mr. Smith and were always happy to help with his shopping and cleaning. The word were is used because there are multiple people, making the sentence plural. The second missing word should also be were, as it is still referring to the people who are checking on Mr. Smith. The neighbor was also suffering with arthritis, so the villagers would support her too. There is only one neighbor, meaning the noun is singular. Therefore, we need to use was. Again, remember that reading your sentences aloud can greatly help with deciding whether you need to use was or were. We also need to understand how to use has and have. Has is used for singular nouns and have is used for plural nouns. For example, the Gold member has access to every facility in the fitness center. There is only one Gold member in this sentence, so has is used. The Gold members have access to every facility in the fitness center. In this sentence, however, we can see that there is more than one Gold member. The text says Gold members, meaning there are multiple. Therefore, have is used instead. On the screen, there are some sentences. Add has or have, so they make sense and are grammatically correct. Pause the video, then press play when you're ready to continue. He has decided to support his local charity to ensure it has more volunteers. In the first sentence, we know there is only one man because the pronoun he has been used. Therefore, we use has. Also, there is only one charity, so we use has in the second part of the sentence too. Some people have never been on an aeroplane, so may not understand their impact on the environment. People is a plural noun. Therefore, we use have. Do you have what it takes to become our next apprentice? This is a tricky one. You is actually both a singular and a plural pronoun. This is because it can be referring to one person or multiple. However, it is always treated as plural, so have should be used. If you want to practice using these words, pause the video and have a go at writing your own sentences. Press play when you're ready to continue. Let's take a look at how verbs can change depending on the tense being used. I work in Nottingham, where it is very dirty and dusty. This sentence is in the present tense. Therefore, both verbs, which can be seen in red, are written in the present tense. I worked in Nottingham where it was very dirty and dusty. This sentence is written in the past tense. Therefore, both verbs, worked and was, are past tense verbs. I am going to work in Nottingham, where it will be very dirty and dusty. This sentence is written in the future tense. Therefore, the verbs become future tense too. Often, when we are writing in the future tense, we will use the suffix ing, or the word will. When writing or speaking, we must always recall whether we are using the present, the past, or the future tense. Here are some incorrect sentences. Read each sentence carefully and change them so they use appropriate grammar. Make sure you check the tense they need to be written in. This is found in brackets at the end of each sentence. The first one has been done for you. Pause the video, then press play when you're ready to continue. You is walk to work. This should be, you are walking to work. Or, you walk to work. We goes to town regularly. This should be, we went to town regularly. You eat sweets all the time. This should be, you ate sweets all the time. They does it too. This should be, they will do it too. She were riding a bike. This should be, she was riding a bike, or, she rode a bike. Articles are words that come before a noun to show whether the noun is specific or general. There are two types of articles: definite and indefinite. There is one definite article. This is the word, the. It refers to specific nouns. It shows that the noun is identifiable to both the writer and reader. For example, the manager insisted on the meeting. In this sentence, the definite article "the" has been used. This tells us there is a particular manager being written about, as well as a particular meeting. The book on the table is mine. This sentence refers to a specific book that is known to the reader, as well as a specific table. The children in the park are playing. This sentence refers to specific children in a known park. There are two indefinite articles, a and an. Indefinite articles are used to show that a noun is general or non-specific. This means the writer is not referring to a particular person, place, object or idea. A is used before words that begin with a consonant sound, and an is used before words that begin with a vowel sound, a, e, I, o, u. Let's look at these examples. I saw a dog in the garden. In this sentence, the indefinite article shows it was any dog, not a specific one, that was seen in the garden. She is an engineer. In this sentence, an is used before engineer to show she was a general engineer, not the only one. There are many other engineers. Notice how an has been used, rather than a. This is because the word engineer begins with a vowel sound. He borrowed a book from the library. In this sentence, the indefinite article, a, is used before the word book to show that it is not a specific book. It could be any book. Let's put our knowledge of articles into practice. Here are 4 sentences with their articles missing. Fill in the blanks with the correct article. There are also 3 sentences that need reviewing. Read these carefully and make sure each sentence uses the correct article. Pause the video, then press play when you're ready to continue. Let's check our answers. I have an apple and an orange. The apple is red. And should be used for both apple and orange. Both apple and orange begin with vowel sounds. However, in the second sentence, we now know which apple is being referred to. Therefore, we should use the definite article the. The Thames is a river in London. The Thames is a specific river, so there is used. However, as there is more than one river in London, a should be used when referring to the river part of the sentence. She wants to be an astronaut. This is just a generic job title. It also begins with a vowel sound, so the indefinite article and should be used. I reviewed a number of charities, but this is the charity I want to donate my money to. The person reviewed several general charities, meaning the first part of the sentence should use the indefinite article a. However, they chose a specific one to donate their money to, so the is used for the second part of the sentence. Let's move on to the second part of the activity. Review these sentences to ensure the correct article has been used. He is a best player in the team. You cannot have a general best player. He is the best player in the team. A local council have decided that the trees in Highfield must be felled. There is not a general local council in each town or city. There is one. Therefore, the correct sentence is: the local council have decided that the trees in Highfield must be felled. I got ready in an hour to go to an concert. Although hour begins with an H, when this word is said aloud, it begins with a vowel sound. The hour is non-specific. Therefore, the indefinite article an should be used for an hour. Also, the person is going to a specific concert, not a generic one. I got ready in an hour to go to the concert. Modal verbs are verbs that are used to show probability or necessity. They show how likely or desirable it is for something to happen. They can also be used to ask questions and make requests or suggestions. Modal verbs generally come before the main verb of a sentence and show how likely something is. Here is a table of modal verbs. The modal verbs will, must, and shall show that something is definite. The other modal verbs show that something is possible, but there is a chance it won't happen. Let's look at some examples. He goes to work. This is an event that definitely happens. There is no modal verb to show how likely this event is. He could go to work. This shows there is a possibility that the man will not go to work, but that he is able to. She will play a tune for the Queen. This sentence shows the girl will definitely play a tune. She ought to play a tune for the Queen. However, this sentence suggests that the girl is being pressured into playing a tune. It also suggests she may choose not to. It is not a definite event. Modal verbs show how possible or necessary something is. In Table 1, we can see there are 3 sentences about football. Each sentence shows a different level of probability or a different possibility of enjoying the football match. The football match might be fun. The modal verb might shows a low level or small chance of probability. The person does not think the match will be enjoyable. The football match should be fun. Should shows a high level or high chance of probability. The person thinks the match will be enjoyable, but there is a chance it won't be. The football match will be fun. Will shows that the person believes the match will definitely be enjoyable. In Table 2, we can see there are 3 sentences about attending the football match. Each sentence shows a different level of need. I would like to go to the football match. The person would like to go, but it is not essential. I should go to the football match. Should makes this sound more important. It seems like the person is supposed to go to the match, but they may choose not to. I must go to the football match. It is essential that the person goes to the match. They cannot miss it. Let's put our knowledge into practice. Here are 5 sentences. Choose the correct modal verb for each sentence to show how likely each verb is. Pause the video, then press play when you're ready to continue. Let's check our answers. You must submit your assignment by the end of the week to ensure it is marked on time. Must indicates a necessity or obligation. The student has to hand in their work. We should leave early if we want to catch the last train home. Should suggests a recommendation or advice. Must could also be correct depending on the context. May I borrow your dictionary for a moment? May, can, or could is used here to ask a question. They are asking permission to use someone else's dictionary. He could have taken the keys. I saw him in the room earlier. Could or might is used to show there is a chance that the keys are with the man. Must could also be used if the writer was certain the man had the keys. Visitors must not smoke on the hospital premises. Must not is used to show that smoking is prohibited in the hospital. When you are writing, make sure you choose the most appropriate modal verb. Many learners lose marks because they forget how important modality devices are. Let's have a go at putting all of our new knowledge together. Here is a writing task for you to complete. You can spend some time planning your writing if this is something you find useful. You recently purchased a product from a reputable online shop. However, the product was delivered late, and you discovered that it was damaged and defective when it finally arrived. Write a letter to the company to complain about the timescale for delivery, the condition of the product when you received it, and to request a resolution. You should take approximately 30 minutes to complete this task. However, this is not an exam, so you can take as long as you need. Ensure you use the correct subject-verb agreements, tenses, definite and indefinite articles, modality devices, and sentence structures. Pause the video, then press play when you're finished. Here are some example sentences that show the correct use of grammar and modality devices. Unfortunately, due to the nature of this task, it is not possible for us to mark this work together. However, you could check your work by asking your tutor or training provider if they can look at your response and provide some feedback. You could also use an online tool for checking grammar. Let's recap what you've learned in this video. You should now be able to understand singular and plural words, identify common nouns, proper nouns and pronouns, identify first, second and third person perspectives in writing, understand and use different tenses, understand and use the correct subject-verb agreements, understand and use definite and indefinite articles, and understand and use modality devices. You also should be able to apply this knowledge when you are writing. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.